Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of the Nashville Diaries. I'm Trista McIntosh, and we have here today Ashley Houston. She is a Nashville lifestyle blogger. She's going to talk to us today about being a mom in Nashville and what has made her choose the Nashville area and where she lives now. And so we're going to dive right in. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And I know we've had a chance to chat a little bit before now, which is awesome. So tell me, I know that you just recently moved, but you moved from Nashville. Yeah. And I always start off by saying, why Nashville?
In general, from the beginning?
Yeah. What brought you here to begin with?
So I'm from East Tennessee. So I'm still a Tennessean, but I just wanted to challenge it was like I was like 25 and I wanted to just move and get out of the small town. And at that time, Nashville wasn't as big as it is now, but it was still, a big city and it wasn't that far from me. And it was in my younger days, so it was just fun.
Okay.
And then, I met my husband and we had kids and got married and all of that. And then it just kind of changed, obviously a little more than that. So,
yeah.
But we love it here. I even it's grown so much and it's so big now. And I feel like, I know a lot of people call it the mini LA or whatever. It does kind of feel like that now, but it's still just so fun and cozy.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. And fun is the easiest way to describe Nashville. So when you guys first came here, did you move to the city or did you move somewhere around the city?
I moved to the city.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Which part?
Well, I jumped around. So I was in Germantown, and then I was in Sylvan Park.
Okay, nice. Very nice. Awesome. And so how long did you guys kind of settle in that area?
How long were we there? Probably 4 years, maybe 5. And then we moved to South Nashville.
Okay.
It's kind of on the Brentwood, Nashville line, but it's Davidson County.
Okay.
So my oldest daughter went to metro schools for a while, and then we moved to Franklin 2 years ago.
Wonderful. Okay, and that's where you guys are at now, right?
Yeah, we're in the suburbs.
Now, is it as fun for you in Franklin as it was when you were in the city?
It's just different. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of an adjustment just when you're used to living in Nashville. Additionally, just easy access to everything.
Yeah.
I thought that I would miss it a lot more than I do. Because I'm able to go when I go. It was just so easy to do before. So now I have to just be a little more intentional with things that I do. And so if I'm going to Nashville for something like today, I try to piggyback other things that I have to do in that area. Smart. So I'm not going back and forth all the time because I don't because I work from home.
Okay.
But my husband drives to Nashville every day.
Does he? And you guys, are you about 25 to 30 minutes then?
About 25 minutes. Yeah. So we're right off the interstate in Franklin, which is perfect. But I love it. It's very cozy. My kids are happy. It's a different. I'm a mom now, so it's just different, but they love it. They're excelling in Franklin.
That's awesome. Now, did you, before you guys moved out of Nashville and before you moved to Franklin, were you deciding between another area, or was it always if we moved to, a suburban area, it's going to be Franklin?
No, initially we were even going to stay in Nashville, and it kind of became an open debate of, in the 5th grade, Metro starts middle school. And so my oldest daughter was approaching 5th grade.
Okay.
And so it was kind of her school was rated very highly, her elementary school, but then the middle school there in her specific zone dropped down. So it was kind of a toss up of, do we do private school or do we move to Williamson County, which has the most amazing schools?
Yeah.
And then we looked in different areas. We looked in Brentwood and Franklin and Nolensville.
Okay.
And so we ultimately decided on Franklin. We also moved, when it was crazy. It was 2022. So it was slim pickings to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we settled on Franklin. I do love that area. It's so cute.
So if you were talking to a mom who was considering those areas, because those are very common, the 3 most common areas would be those 3. What would you tell them about why you chose Franklin out of those 3 and kind of what they could expect from moving there?
I love all 3. So I'll start with that. So I think any of them would be great options. I love Franklin personally. The downtown Franklin area is just so cute. It feels like a Hallmark movie.
It really is.
There's a lot of stuff in Franklin too. Like honestly, I don't need to go to Nashville. I love to, and I do it. But I mean, that has grown enough in itself. Franklin, like there's so many things there. I mean, you really don't need anything.
Yeah.
And but it still feels. It doesn't feel like you're far out or like you're necessarily in the country, even if you are, because it's still easy access to everything. So you still get that like separation to where you don't feel like chaos all the time, but and it's cozy, but you still have a quick access. Like I can jump in my car and be at Target in like 10 minutes.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal at all. And Brentwood, I love Brentwood. So where we lived in South Nashville was very close to Brentwood.
Okay.
So I was there a lot too. A lot of the places, like my appointments and stuff, are still in Brentwood.
Okay.
I love that area too. So I mean, I think either one of them honestly would be great.
Would be good options. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, it's a Saturday afternoon. What are some of your favorite things to do, whether it's in Franklin or even driving back into the city?
So I love. My kids they're competitive cheerleaders and dancers, so there's a lot of chaos with their schedules. So I love to just kind of do something chill. Like I love to take them to the farmer's market in Franklin. It's like my favorite thing to do.
Yep.
There's like this little donut truck and we get donuts and then we just walk around and look at all the different things. I feel like there's just kind of something always going on in Franklin and in Nashville for that matter. So if we don't have cheer or dance or something with our schedules, I usually just try to do something fun. Like, you know, in the holiday season, there's like fun parades all around. And then there's all these different pop-ups. And then in the spring, they have like things at Cheekwood. Like, I love Cheekwood. It's like one of my favorite places.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's just like so much to do.
You can never be bored here.
You can just never get bored. Like,
you never get bored.
Seriously do something at all times.
Yes, easily. Now, do you and your husband do a lot of date nights or do you get to go out?
We do.
Okay.
So when we lived in Nashville, he owned a nightclub and a music venue. So it's different to settle down.
Yeah.
So he's very, very social.
Okay.
We try to, and all of our friends still live here.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of them don't have kids.
Okay.
And so like they kind of still live in Nashville and still circulate. And so they kind of keep us
busy.
Yeah. And like on the know.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you move away, even if it's only 20 minutes down the road, you feel like out of it.
Yeah.
Because things open so much here. And again, there's so much going on.
There is.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So we're always like, we love to check out like the new restaurants. We're big foodies. And we have, I feel like, amazing food here.
So what's your favorite restaurant? 'Cause we're big
right
foodies.
now.
Yeah.
Pilato. I love that place.
Oh, where's that?
It's in Germantown.
Pilato. I haven't heard
It's
of that
Italian,
one.
but it's kind of like tapas style.
Okay.
I'll go back there like a lot.
Really?
I love that
Okay.
place. Yeah.
I'm going to have to we'll be in Germantown tomorrow. We're going to go to Geist with the pop-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get in right now.
I don't even know how I was able to, but I called and worked my little magic.
I'm so jealous.
I was able, because they were booked. I mean, like if you don't get in, especially for a pop-up around here, you're just...
And that one's like the most popular one right now.
And so we're going tomorrow at like 5:30, which is a decent time. So I'll have to tell you how.
I wonder if you can just like jump in at the bar. We do that sometimes.
You probably could. I'll text you and let
you
know.
know.
Like,
I'm like,
it looks open.
It was on my list. And then I went to make a reservation and like, it was so crazy. Like 2 days before there was open times. Yeah. And then you look and there's none for like the rest of
until
the month.
January. Yeah. It's crazy. But that's how it is, I think, for people who come here to know is like, there's so much to do, but then you have to plan in advance sometimes for like the more popular places. Like, you know, if you go to, you know, the 12:30 supper club, you better, you know, put in a reservation a month in advance because trying to walk in just
if you don't have connections, you are out of luck.
You're just out of luck. Yeah, for sure.
I tell my friends that all the time, or even like people who I'm friends with on social media, and they'll like DM me and they're like, "Hey, I'm coming into Nashville next week. Where should I eat?" And I'm like, you should go on Open Table and you should just see what's available and then go from there.
And then go from there.
Because you should have done that at least 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to get in.
No.
I mean, unless I said like, if you are like 2 of you and you just pop in at the bar, maybe, you could probably get in somewhere. But if you're trying to sit down with like 4 to 6 people,
good luck.
No.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we have a lot of people, that live here and then that come through here. Like, you can't do that.
Do you have a lot of people that like to visit you here? Because I know we do. Just like because of how popular Nashville is and like you said, how fun. I just feel like we have a lot of friends that are always like, hey, we're going to come visit. We're going to come visit. And because of just how fun the city is.
I don't feel like I do.
No? Okay.
No. Well, I mean, I moved from a small town and most of my friends either moved away, but honestly, I don't know what it is about. Probably because it's not that far. I feel like a lot of people from where I'm from move here.
Really?
So they're already here.
Okay.
Yeah. Like my best friend from high school moved here. She just moved to South Carolina like 2 months ago.
Okay.
But like she moved here like 6 months after I did.
Okay.
And so it's like, I feel like a lot of people are either already here or, I mean, a lot of the people that ask me about it are friends of mine from like, not that I talk to every day friends, but like social media friends.
Okay.
And then they're just like, what should I do?
Got it.
When I'm there.
Yeah.
It's more of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or like, can you give me tips on this?
Yeah. Where should we go?
Yeah.
What should we do? We're coming in for the weekend type of thing.
Because most of my friends live here.
Okay,
actually.
well, that's good. It's actually one of my questions I was going to have for you because I think, I'm somebody that relocated here, so I know some of the challenges. And obviously, I work with a lot of relocation buyers. And so one of the things that always comes up is getting acclimated and adjusted with a friends group and a community. What would you say to that? What's a good suggestion that you would give to somebody on like how to make friends here and how to feel settled in and at home with a community?
Yeah. I get that question a lot too from people and even moving here and saying that they're struggling.
Yeah.
My main suggestion, and I guess this also would depend on if you have kids or not.
Okay.
So obviously I'm a mom. I know a lot of my friends I've met like with extracurricular activities with my kid, like what my kids do, like dance moms or kids at school. I think it's really important as a mom to get to know the other parents in the school. And I mean, obviously you're going to if they're on teams because you're with them all the time, but it's important for me to connect with the parents at the school just so I know who like my kids are talking to at the school.
Sure.
I wouldn't say that they don't have to be like best friends, but like just being active in your kid's school.
Yeah.
And then, when I didn't have kids, I would say just like opening yourself up and networking and going to things. Like it's easy to kind of like sit at home because you don't know anyone, but you're not going to meet anyone there. It doesn't even have to be like going out and bars and stuff like that. It can be as simple as like, a workout class that you're going to regularly. Like I work out at like Burn Boot Camp in Franklin. There's a lot of them scattered throughout here. I know that's like and I'm sure other workout places are too, but like, every person that you work out with, you're working out at the same time every day, and
that's such a great idea.
Yeah. And there's like a Facebook group, the Nashville Girls Group.
Oh yeah.
People do meetups on there all the time. So, if you're single and you're looking for friendships, like that's a great resource. It's a lot of women that have moved here and are always like posting in there. Like, does anyone want to go?
Grab wine
this weekend. Or is anyone a fan of, Wicked?
Yeah.
And wants to go see this? I don't have any, I think just like connecting, putting yourself out there would be, and I think that's hard to do sometimes because it's easy to just retreat.
It is. I think one of the hardest things is developing friendships as an adult. I think it's so challenging because to your point, especially if you don't have kids or have something to, create an arena for you to meet people, it can be so challenging.
I agree. And I think too, like as you get older, just your priorities change and that can be hard. It is like and I'm sure you too, like I have found myself being more of a homebody too, to where like I used to just like every day be like, where are we going tonight? And you want more of like that space and you also don't put up with as much, right? Yeah. So you're like when you're young, you whatever, but now I'm just like the littlest thing I'm like bye.
Yeah. Oh
Like, I don't have time for this because we don't have time for anything.
That is so me.
And so, yeah, it's just, you have to have those quality friendships when you're older. You don't have as much time.
Yeah. And it's so true. And to your point, the older you get, the more you realize what's important to you in friendships.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have a group of girlfriends that I've had for 30 years.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone through every stage of life together. And even for those that I think do move, they are also afraid of moving away from family and moving away from friends. And they feel like, oh gosh, how am I going to have that connection? But you'll be surprised. I mean, I've been able to maintain my friendships with my best friends who live in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I've been here for 5 years.
Right.
I think you become more intentional about talking on the phone and about bringing them to see you or you going to see them. So that gives hope for people that, move here, that you can still maintain those friendships.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And still meet new people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my best friend lives in Florida and she's been my best friend since high school. And just because she lives in Florida doesn't mean that we're not, and it's like, does she have friends in Florida that she sees way more than me? And do I have friends here that I see all the time? For sure.
Absolutely.
But like, it doesn't mean that you're going to lose those friendships.
Absolutely.
It's a day doesn't, let's say a month even goes by when I haven't talked to her, and that she just had a newborn. So like that has happened actually, but it's like, she called me yesterday, pick right back up.
Absolutely.
So like, you're not going to, if they're real quality friendships, you're not going to lose them.
You're not going to lose them. Actually, one of my best friends just sent me something. It was it wasn't a meme, but it was like a real type of thing. And it said something to that effect. I think it was Denzel Washington or somebody who was just talking about friendships. And they were like, your ride or die lifelong friends are the ones that you actually don't need to talk to every single day. They're the ones that you can go weeks without hearing from. But when you pick back up the phone, it's like you never missed a second.
Right.
And the ones that you just have so much faith and trust that you don't have to oh my gosh, I didn't talk to them today, or I didn't see them. And is our friendship going to last? It's like, no, if you have a true, real friend, you don't need all of that. Distance isn't going to change your friendship if it's real.
I mean, honestly, I don't even think I would want a friendship like the other.
I know.
That sounds exhausting.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I already have enough on my plate. No, I know. I was like, if I had a friend that was like that, I think I'd be like, let me ghost you. Yeah. Are you needy much?
Yeah, exactly. No, again, not to keep bringing that up, but when you're older, it's the older you get, the busier you are.
Sure.
And then you're just like, I don't have time.
I don't have time for that. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about your lifestyle blog. So how did you get started in content creation and how long have you been doing it?
Okay. So I've been doing it for 8 years. When I had my oldest daughter, I was in sales and I got my degree in communications and advertising and stuff like that. So it kind of fits a little bit now, I guess. I can still use that. But I went into sales. And then I got pregnant with her and I had her and I could not bear to leave her. My postpartum anxiety was out of this world.
Really? Okay.
And so my husband and I decided that I would stay home with her, which is so rewarding and in the same breath, so lonely. And so then when she got old enough and she was in preschool, mom's day out, it was kind of new at that time. Not a lot of people, especially here in Nashville. I was one of the OG people that did it here in Nashville. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this girl that I knew, I just would see her post things. And I was like, that looks fun. And I like to write. So really I started as a blog, which I still have it. But I mean, I know those aren't as prevalent now, but I like it.
Yeah.
And it's mine.
Yeah.
So I started as that. And Instagram was still it was really easy to grow. Well, easier than it is now, I feel like. And so I started with that and it was just a creative outlet for me in the beginning. I just needed my own thing. Right.
Yeah.
Again, though, the part that worked out for me was that not a lot of people were doing it here. And so I felt I not necessarily in numbers grew, but the popularity of my accounts and my blog grew because I was one of the first few.
Yeah.
And I felt I got a lot of opportunities in the beginning, which helped my business soar. So with any business, when you don't make money in the first little bit, but by 2 years in, I was making more than I even made in my previous job.
Really?
Which was amazing.
That's awesome. Is that typical?
It depends.
Okay.
I think it just, it depends on the person.
Okay, got it.
I like hustled because once I got a little taste of it, I was like, ooh, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be at home with my kids.
Yeah.
So my first year doing it, I got pregnant with my second child.
Okay.
And so at the first of it, I kind of was doing a lot of like fashion and beauty. And I think it's because I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
And then once I had her, that was hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
So then I migrated more into like lifestyle, with, like mom stuff, just like life really.
Mm-hmm.
And then lately I've kind of been doing a lot more like recipes and stuff like that, just because it's like, how can I be creative?
Yeah.
But do something that I love.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do share our life a lot, but I'm trying to lean in more
into like, well, you said you're a foodie.
I love food.
Yeah. I do too.
Just,
I love food a little bit too much sometimes.
I know. I literally work out so I can eat. Like that's it. I'm not trying to be like hard bodied. I'm like just so I can eat what I want.
Just so I can eat what you want. I am right there with you, girl. Right there with you. So, so is that kind of it? Do you feel like you're more passionate about the food? Is that maybe why you're leaning more into that?
I just think it's fun, and doesn't everyone love food? So it's like, it's one thing to share my life, and I'm sure some people might care, but then some people are like, I don't care. Who doesn't care about food?
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, that's not my like main thing. I'm just kind of leaning into it more. And I think that I want to do like a more relatable aspect of it, of like cook with me, not necessarily like, so that's still part of your life, but then it's also
it's engaging.
Amazing food.
Yeah. And it's engaging.
And like teaching. I feel like social media has kind of turned into, for a long time in a small way, a little narcissistic. Like it's, like, here's my life.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And so I'm trying to like figure out how to funnel it to like help like educate, whatever that may be.
Oh,
so,
I love that.
Like, here, I'm going to teach you to do something or, like something resourceful as opposed to just making it about like you. Your channel.
I think that's so great because like when I think about what I go on Instagram for, I follow accounts that are going to educate me, teach me, make me, I don't know, more knowledgeable about something.
Right.
And I seek them out because I use, and I'm sure you do too, I use Instagram like Google. Yeah. So I just go in, I type in what I want, and then I, search for somebody who can teach me something. So I think that's so smart to go that route. Yeah.
I do that on TikTok, but yes. Yeah. Like before I even Google it, I'll be like, the other day I was trying to figure out how to do something like a DIY. Like I was like, how do you put the Christmas topper on a Christmas tree? I was like, I cannot figure this out. So I went to TikTok because I knew that they would show me a video too. I need a visual.
Me too.
Thing. Yeah. Like show me how to do it. Mm-hmm. And then, but it's like whoever the content creator may be, even if you're, don't want to do that as your full-time job, but it's like, what can I do to help someone else learn how to do something?
I love
because
that.
We're all just trying to figure it out.
We're all trying to figure it out.
Absolutely. And then if you watch it, it's more like it can click more, like, oh.
Well, I'm a visual learner, so I have to.
I feel like a lot of us are nowadays.
See it. Yeah, I have to see it. So where do you see this growing, I guess, over the next couple of years?
I don't know, but I would love to be, and this is a really big goal. I'm not even saying I would be like her. Okay. But like, I love the whole like Martha Stewart vibe. Like, I just want to be a resource.
I love that.
A friend of mine the other day suggested, because I was like trying to figure out where I'm going with this, right? Because it's a weird world. It's a weird industry nowadays. So people are like, what's the longevity here, right? Mm-hmm. And she was like, I think you would be really good at taking an approach of kind of that, like teaching like younger girls. Okay. Here's how you, whatever, even if it's like being a mom, right? Yeah. Just being like that resource. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like my goal.
I love all of that. I love it. And I'm a huge cheerleader of women in business and, entrepreneurs. So I will be cheering you on. And for those that watch this episode, and obviously, especially for those who are moving here and need resources like that, where can they find you and how can they connect?
You can find me. My handle is Nashville Wife Styles with a W on everything, pretty much. And then my blog is just NashvilleLifestyles.com.
Perfect. Awesome. Because, people, I know, like when I moved here, I'm creating in this podcast what I wish I could have found. Yeah. Because when I moved here, that's what you need. You need resources. Right. You just need somebody to tell you where to go eat, what's the best places, where to go. Like How do you get acclimated? Like, you know, just like you said, who can teach me how to get settled here fast, you know?
That's great.
And so this is kind of why I'm doing that in a way, is to help that curve, you know, when you move here and you feel like a fish out of water, you're like, okay, how do I find my footing? You know, where do I go? And then in essence, this is me educating people on life in Nashville, right? So you being a resource for them would be awesome.
Well, and there's so many things, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when they move here, they're like, where do I even go to get my hair done?
Yes.
Where do I go to do this? Because there's so many things. It's like you would do with Google anyways, but then it's people that you trust.
It's people you trust, and people you'd be like, oh, okay, I can relate to her. She's a mom. She's in Franklin. You know, she probably has
options.
Kids my age, or, you know, she likes to do this or that, or like you said, the farmer's market, you know, and I know for me, the hardest thing to find when I moved here was a hairstylist.
That's the number one question I get.
Is it really?
Yeah, literally. People are like, I don't even know where to go to get my hair done. Yeah.
Where do you go? In Franklin?
I go to Parlor 3 in Brentwood.
In Brentwood. Yeah. That's like literally, I was on Instagram, and for me, it was even tougher because, you know, I was like, I got my hair done a certain way by a certain person. And I was like, okay, I cannot find anybody here that knew how to do my hair the way that I was used to doing it in Chicago. And that was the hardest thing. And then COVID hit, which is just wonderful.
That was rough.
That was really rough.
That was rough for a lot.
And I had just moved here 3 months before COVID.
Bless you.
Yeah. So it was just like, oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
There was a lot. So, but anyway, Ashley, thank you so much. It's been so fun talking to you. And thank you for sharing with me all the things that, you know, you have found to help make this feel like home for you. And I'm sure it will help other people too.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to follow along and see all the things you're going to share.
Yeah. I'm excited to grow this, and kind of like you, like the longevity of it, and just kind of the vision I see for it. And, you know, I just think that would be really valuable to people moving here.
I agree. Yeah.
And so many people move here a day.
Yeah. So. We have like so many transplants. Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's not even people in surrounding areas. Like they have no idea what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Thanks for helping me out.
Of course.
Awesome. Well,
thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you next episode. Thanks for listening to the Nashville Diaries. If you're looking to move to the Nashville area and feeling overwhelmed, grab my free guide to Nashville's top luxury suburbs and neighborhoods. It's your shortcut to finding the perfect place to thrive. You can download it now at www.movetonashvillewithtrista.com. See you next time.